we have with us Tom DeBlass. Pronounced that right?
Yep.
205-pound fighter. So, asking a few questions. Originally, you're a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter. What got you into that?
I always loved competing my whole life, and I figured I wanted something more for myself as an adult than just watching, Sunday Night Football. And like I said, I've been competing in something since I'm 4 years old. And I always was interested in fighting and stuff like that. And I found Professor Ricardo, and the rest is history.
Did you start as like a wrestler?
No, I never wrestled before. I always messed around, but I never wrestled before.
High school. What made you decide to take the jump from being a just jiu-jitsu guy into mixed martial arts?
I like to challenge myself, it's what my teacher did, it's what his teacher did, and I just think it's important to always push the limits and really put yourself in uncomfortable situations and really try to test yourself in every way, shape, or form.
Test, challenge, see where you are.
Exactly.
So you opened up your own school at Ocean County Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Forked River, New Jersey. How has the owning, operating, and being a head instructor of your own school improved you as a practitioner of Jiu-Jitsu and a person in general?
I say you really don't understand too much about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu until you really teach it to somebody. Because when you teach it, you're forced to perfect it.
Yeah.
And it forces you to teach to so many different learning styles, and really makes you dissect each technique. And I think it helped me a ton. I think I tell all my students too, if you want to really hit the next level, you got to learn how to teach. You got to be a teacher, and that definitely was a huge impact in my career.
So the teaching made you see maybe flaws in the game or whatever?
Made me see flaws in my own game,
yeah.
And it made me see, just how different people look at different things and their views of certain techniques, and everybody's perspective is different. And just because maybe one body type might not fit a certain technique, it's very important that we're aware of every technique.
Yeah.
So I tell my students all the time.
Good advice. I see that your college education as a teacher, special education specifically?
Special ed elementary, dual certified.
All right. How does that actually help you here? Or just
it helped me a lot, man. I have a lot of patience when it comes to teaching people.
Special education, you have to.
Yeah, you have to. And it really showed me. Well, number one, I feel very fortunate to have the things that I have, and to have the ability to teach, everybody, and I find that, believe it or not, I don't want this to sound crazy, but teaching special education kids and teaching grown men jiu-jitsu is not that much different.
Yeah.
It really isn't, because when you come through the door as a white belt, you don't know anything.
No.
And you really have to learn step by step, and it's just all about learning, and having patience with your students.
As you said, you're a black belt under Ricardo Almeida. How has he influenced your life, outside of just jiu-jitsu?
I mean, I've been with Professor Ricardo since all my adult life, and without him, I would have never opened this school. He gave me the blessing to do so. I saw the way he did it, and I kind of followed in his footsteps in certain aspects, and he's definitely a motivating factor to me and many of the students.
Seems that way, just in hearing him in general talk and the way he goes about things. Your boxing coach is Mark Henry?
Yep.
When did you start working out with him, and how do you think he's improved your game in mixed martial arts overall?
I think it's been like 2 years I've been with Mark now, and I think Mark is a different kind of boxing coach than most. I think he really breaks down little things, and he includes takedowns, and he includes the whole MMA game rather than just boxing. Where a lot of boxing coaches just teach boxing. So Mark's boxing is for MMA,
yes.
And since I've been with him, I mean, you could look at my fights. My stand-up has improved drastically. Since fight 1, fight 2, fight 3, it just keeps getting better and better. And I definitely owe that to him.
So he's also, I guess, learning and to better coach you and everybody else at the gym, it seems.
He's always evolving. Like he's never sticks with the same thing for too long. In fact, right when you think you're getting something, Mark will come back to you, and he changed your whole game around. And he wants you to do something different. So. Hey man, you got to change the times. It's very important.
You turned pro around 1.5 years ago. In that time, you fought 6 times, soon to be your 7th. What has motivated you to be just so active in it? That it has to be tough on your body.
Man, I don't know. I ask myself that every day. I always say I want a break after I fight. You know, I was supposed to take a break. Actually, basically after every fight, you know, and I just can't get enough of it. You know, I keep finding myself back in the mix. And, you know, I think the best seat in the whole house is inside the cage. You know, I'd rather be in it. Gotta be in it to win it, you know.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be in it, and hopefully I don't come up short. But if I did, at least I give my best. And I just love it, man. I love the fight. I love the war. I love the preparation, and I love having to wake up in the morning sore, beat up, tired, not wanting to do it, but forcing myself to do it because life is good.
Out of your fights so far, which win has been most significant to you?
It's funny. I think they all had a different meaning to me. You know, like real quick, I'll just go through it. Like my first fight against J.A., I didn't know what to expect. You know, my second fight, me and the guy didn't like each other too much. My third fight against Mitch had a ton of experience. Fourth fight, Sean Sam was a UFC veteran.
That was a quick lay lock?
Quick submission, yeah. My next fight, you know, Mike Stewart, he was a super tough guy, and we had some words before the fight, and that was for the title, so that was very important that I won that fight.
Yeah.
And my last fight was against David, who was, you know, extremely tough, Georgian wrestler, and that was probably my toughest fight, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
But you know, that one I think may have meant the most to me, just because I don't think I was ever in a bad position in the fight, but he forced me to dig deep, and I came through on top.
Well, speaking of your last fight, I read that his coach actually gave you a memento of some sort.
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing that story with us?
Yeah, he gave me his dog tags. He's a general in the Georgian Special Forces, and he actually took off his dog tags after the fight, and he gave them to me because he said, I was so respectful to this fighter, and he really appreciated it, and I fought like a warrior, and you know, it really meant a lot to me, you know, because there's always that mutual respect that you have, you know, well, you hope, you know, a lot of fighters out there don't have that. I have it, and I hope that everybody I fight has it as well. I'm certain that my last opponent, David, did have it, and I think that his coach recognized that, and you know, he thought it was commendable, and you know, I wear the dog tags all the time.
Something that means
A lot.
valuable to you. In fighting, you've been talking about making a cut to 185.
Yeah.
Your next fight's also at 205 again for the title. Is that something you're still considering, dropping in weight classes?
Not right now.
Not right now. You've been very successful at 205.
Yeah, I figure when somebody holds me down and overpowers me at 205, then I can reinvent myself at 85. It's a weight I could make, but for the time being, I'm just going to make myself a better 205 fighter. You know, I'm going to have, you know, I'm working with Corey Cooper Smith. My buddy Mike Termini's helped me out a little bit, some nutritionist, and you know, making me a better 205 pounder that I think I'd be very successful at 205.
So far, have been. How far away do you believe you are from, you know, like a higher jump in level of competition?
We've been offered basically every show, to fight in every show, literally every show, but the UFC. But I think that would be there as well, possibly. You know, I don't want to say how many. I'm having a feeling maybe this might be the last one around here. But maybe not, you know, I wouldn't, I like ring combat, you know, I like fighting there, you know, another fight there wouldn't hurt, but
actually,
I think as long as I'm doing well.
What was the next question was, you know, how do you all of your fights have been with Ring of Combat, so how do you like fighting for them, the promotion, and them as an organization, how do you like them?
I love Ring of Combat, you know, I'm the champion for them, and I think they're the longest running regional promotion. They send a lot of guys to the UFC. It's a very professional show. The venue's awesome. You know, they take care of their fighters, and you know, I think it's great. I have a lot of fun there. I feel like you know, it's my home.
Part of the family. Well, how do you see the role of regional MMM, specifically in our case, East Coast, in like overall development of the sport?
Like East Coast MMA, the fighters coming up?
Yeah, like fighters coming up, or how it bringing fans in, or even businesses like yours.
I think it's growing, and I think there's a lot of tough guys that come out of the East Coast. You know, I think
Let's get a winner.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighters here, man. You know, and there's a lot of people who just want to learn. I do notice in the West Coast, it seems like the general population, the non-fighters, actually seem to care about their bodies a little bit more than they do on the East Coast, you know. So I think, you know, people trying out jiu-jitsu just for a way of life may be a little easier sometimes on the West Coast. But I think, you know, here, like, you know, we have tons of students here. We have, like, you know, 250 students. We're expanding again. You know, we're gonna have 6,000 total square feet, and I think more and more people are starting to see that. You don't have to be a fighter to look like a fighter. You know, you don't have to go to work feeling beat up. You don't have to have black eyes. You don't have to have hurt arms. But you can train. You can stay fit. You can stay in shape and live the lifestyle.
It's more fun than grinding away on the treadmill.
Exactly.
With all there's been a lot of major television deals lately for mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Is that something? Do you keep like any ears open about that stuff? You know, watch that sort of scene.
You know, I basically. I just fight, man. You know, I'm like a horse. You know, my trainers tell me to fight, and I fight. You know, I wake up, I train, and I fight, and you know, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. And, I think it's pretty awesome, like the deal that UFC made with Fox, and I hear Bellator's going to Spike, and you know, Showtime with Strikeforce. I think it's amazing for the sport, and I'm very proud of the sport in a whole, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
I can't wait to be on one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Lately in media, especially after the new East 360 thing or whatever they're doing about fighter pay on ESPN.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the subject about fighters' pay and things like that?
Well, you know, I think you gotta fight hard to get paid. You know, and I think like Tina made a good point. There's boxers getting paid hundreds of dollars. To where when I go in the UFC, my first fight, even if I'm getting paid, you know, 7 and 7, you know, 7 to show, 7 to win, then let's not forget about sponsors, which hopefully you're getting upwards of 10,000. And then you get a knockout in the night or submission in the night, that's an extra 70,000 right there. You know, and the top dogs are getting paid. You know, they're getting paid well. So, like anything, I think the better you get, the more you get paid.
Essentially, you have to work
to
get the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes great sense.
Yeah.
Who are the guys you train with? And we'll start with that.
Train with some monsters, man. Of course, Professor Ricardo, Mark Henry, and then you know we have Frank Yeager, Chris Segori, Chris McRae, who's a beast. My guys, Kyle Kramer, Adam Hughes, Guy Neal, Carlos Solis, all the guys that grind with me here, Gary Toner, Sapo from the city, Jamal. I mean, we just got. I can go forever. We got a bunch of monsters.
Any guys fighting now or going to be fighting soon that we should keep our eyes out open for?
I mean, of course, everybody at Ricardo, we have the UFC champion on our team. You know, Frank Yeager.
You all know him already.
Keep your eye on him. You know, everybody. Ligori, you know, I think McRae's working his way back up into the UFC.
Rattle off a few wins, if I remember.
Yeah, and the kid's I don't think people understand.
He works hard.
He is. Not only works hard, the kid is a freak. You know, we haven't. No one's seen his best yet. We've seen his best, but no one's seen his best yet. And I got some horses in the stable here that I think we unleash them. They're going to do some work. You know, I got 2 fighters fighting tomorrow. Scott Grant and John Droga, amateur, and you know I expect them to do well.
Are there any up-and-coming or established fighters you would like to match up against, or you feel you match up well against?
You know, I don't call anybody out. I believe my ability. I believe that I match up well with anyone. I think I'm a fighter that can fight on the ground, of course, and I can fight on my feet, and I'll fight anywhere. You know, I'm not going to say I'll fight this guy or that guy. I'm not looking to fight anybody specific, but I'm not afraid to fight anybody.
It's a good way to look at it. Well, your next fight is against Carlos Brooks. What challenges do you believe he presents for you?
I think the same as every fight. You know, what's going to happen? You know, what's he coming to do? I'm sure he's coming to use his stand-up skills, use his jab, use his leg kicks. I hit hard. That's one thing I know about myself, and I'm also very fast, and my boxing is nothing to be overlooked. You know, so I think he's going to have good conditioning. He comes from a camp that really prepares their fighters well.
Tiger Schulman.
Yeah, man. All their guys are super tough. You know, so I think he has a strong mind, and I think he's going to be ready.
They usually have a huge crowd support too.
Yeah, they're going to have a bigger crowd than me.
Yeah. In that fight, where do you believe you hold your biggest advantage in that fight would be?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
Yeah. I truly do think so.
That's good. Any predictions on your outcome?
I believe I'll win, and I'm hoping for a finish, you know, but I can't guarantee anything. But I'm coming out, I'm swinging hard, man. Like I said, I hit hard, and I'm not afraid of anyone's stand-up. You know, I'm coming forward, I'm moving forward, and I'm throwing hard, and when it goes on the ground, of course, we have that advantage. We know that, but I don't know if I'm looking to go to the ground. I don't know. We're gonna have to see what happens. I believe in myself, where I do think I'm better everywhere than Carlos is, as much as I do respect him. No disrespect to him at all. I don't want to take it the wrong way, but I just think I'm the better fighter.
Originally, you were supposed to fight somebody else. How has the switching opponent maybe changed your preparation?
I do the same thing every time. I know what I need to work on as a fighter. I know what my strong points are, and I just constantly try to make my weaknesses stronger. So no matter who I fight, game plan's always the same. We start on our feet, so we're going to throw punches and kicks. If it ends on the ground, we use our world-class jiu-jitsu. If we end up locking up, we're going to try to use our wrestling. If I get taken down, I really don't care. So that's an advantage I think I have. Where I'll throw hard, I'm not worrying about getting taken down, because if you take me down, I'm very comfortable in my guard.
All right. Now, with a very big jiu-jitsu backing, do you ever work, like, say, less on that because your striking needs to improve more, or your wrestling needs to improve more? That's
the biggest problem, trying to make time for everything, like wrestling, boxing, jiu-jitsu, MMA sparring, strength and conditioning. There's so much. I could definitely say my first fight against JA, I didn't work my jiu-jitsu enough, but now I'm back and I'm working my jiu-jitsu hard every day, and I think my jiu-jitsu is at the level it's at now than when I was in Abu Dhabi. I think my jiu-jitsu, the level's very high again, and I think I'm finally finding out how to put everything together and train very hard in every aspect and really move forward and improve.
You mentioned wrestling. I think I read that you're training with out Rutgers.
Yeah.
How has that? How do you feel that's improved you? Or
helps a lot, man. The guys are super tough. They're super helpful. Coach John the artist and Goodell, and I work with the heavyweight guys there that are monsters, man. 250, 240, 260, and they just really help, and they're very helpful, and you got to grind through that practice. It's hot, it's tiring, it's not easy, and
help your conditioning.
Helps your conditioning. My last opponent was super good wrestler, and he couldn't take me down because all of these guys, strong. He was a strong guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, any sponsors you need to thank, or anybody in general?
My whole team, like usual, Ocean County Jiu-Jitsu, Professor Ricardo, Coach Mark Henry. Everybody, my fiance Delilah, Isabel, my parents, Danny Ligore, my manager, and let me see if I can remember the sponsors.
Look it up.
Lexani, Jersey Pump, JR's, Gamma OLAB, they just sent me something today, Intimidation, and there's a new one out there, I forget the name, but I apologize, I'll give you a shout on Twitter. But all my students here, man, you guys are the best, I really appreciate everything, and thanks for the interview, I appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
Nice to meet you.